Welcome to Tarun IAS. My name is Rohit Kumar. Today I am going to discuss the 2nd September 2022, the current affair which is taken from the Hindu and Indian Express. This is all the current affair which are very important for the GS first, GS second and GS third, which always we ask in prelims exam and the mains exam. So let's start the first news. It's related to the IMF and it's related to GS second, especially it's a relevance of important institutions and agency, their structure and mandate. So let us start. The first news is related to IMF. You already know that what is the IMF. IMF, it's an International Monetary Fund. It's an international agency which is related to financial department. So IMF extended 2.9 billion to Sri Lanka. It means this news is taken from the Hindu, and it say that IMF Sri Lanka reached the staff level agreement to support Sri Lanka's economic policy with the 48-month agreement under extended fund facility above 2.9 billion. You already know that Sri Lanka is facing with economic crisis. Nowadays Sri Lanka's situation and condition, it's highly in danger because of the economic crisis. High inflations, high unemployment, all such type of things is happening in the Sri Lanka. You already know that we already have faced the same situation in 1991. It's a call to economic crisis 1991 in India. India also just taken lending from the IMF, and after just taking a loan from the IMF, India reform economic. It means India just apply a LPG concept which called liberalizations, privatizations and the globalizations. And now India is one of the biggest GDP country is in world. India just try to cross 3 trillions of economy. So same situations happened now for the Sri Lanka also. Just take what is the objective of IMF. So main objective of IMF is here to restore a macroeconomic stability and the debt sustainability, and to safeguard financial stability, to protect the vulnerable, and to step up to structural reform and address corruption to vulnerability. So all these things is the main objective of the IMF. Now IMF supported to Sri Lanka. It's a very important IMF to extend 2.9 billions of the dollar to Sri Lanka. Now maybe Sri Lanka will reform the economy also, or maybe again it will come on the track. So this is a very important news. It's related to economy, international agency. Maybe it can be asked in the prelims exam, and you can also be quoted in a GS paper second. So this is a very important. Now just turn to another. Second news is related to, it's a war exercise. It's called to Vostok. Vostok 2022 begins in Russia with the India and China participating in this war exercise. So it's a relevance for international relationship. Now we can discuss here. So what is the exact news? News is that Indian Army contingents is participating in multilateral strategic commanded exercise. It's called to the Vostok 2020. The Vostok 2022, maybe it can be asked in the prelims exam, because what is the Vostok 2022? So maybe it can be asked in the prelims exam also. So first of all, that the one questions may be also be asked that from first of all that it's happened in the Russia, external military district of the Russia. Now that one thing is also from the Bharat Bharat, the contingents comprises troops from the Bharat is 7 upon Gorkha Rifles. It means from the India's Gorkha Rifle will participate in Vostok 2022, and the China's People Liberation's Army also be participating in this exercise. First, let me start. What is the Vostok 2022? So Vostok 2022, it's interactions and the coordinations among the participating to military contingency and the observe. Now it's a joint military army. So first of all, that maybe one thing is also that India and the Russia, you already be that India and Russia's relationship is healthy relationship, and India-America relationship is also healthy relationship. But India defended its participation in the exercise to responding the USA criticism, because USA do not just want that India should be just participate in the Russia, but because you already we know that USA and the Russia both are rivalry, both are against to each other, and the USA China also be against to each other, and the India and China also to against each other. It means it's a very difficult situation here. However, India regularly participate in the multilateral exercise in the Russia along with the number of other country. But here India, China and Russia, all these three countries are participating in this war exercise. It's called to Vostok 2022, which is held in Russia. So it's a very important, or maybe this type of the questions always we can ask on the paper prelims exam. So now let's to move to another topic. Next is related to, it's a very important, you can just say that High Court just given a verdict, a state liable to pay at a liquor death. ये High Court it say. It's a news taken from the Hindu, and you can quote that it's a relevance GS paper 2nd. So here you can say that the Allahabad High Court recently held that a state has a completely control on over a liquor sale. Because suppose that a people of a state just taken a liquor, but that type of the liquor is poisonous, so definitely a state should be paid to all the compensation, because liquor has a control by a state government. So here is a liable to pay compensations to keen of those who lost their life and the visions after alcohol poisoning. So this concept, this verdict is given by the High Court, Allahabad High Court. Because of that, there was one petitions, because the court was recently just hearing a petitions filled by the family, because that family who die after consuming to a spurious liquor in Azamgarh 2021. So that's why the High Court, Allahabad High Court say that because liquors control have a state have a fully control on the liquor, but in the state poisonous liquor are selling by the people, it means simply that this is a part of administration of the state. So state should be compensate to all such type of the incident which is happen in a state. So simply High Court just given to order here. Okay, so this is very important also. Now you can move on another news. It's related to academia research and the glass selling in India. So what is the news? It's news relevance for the role of women and the women's organizations. So it's talking about the gender inequality in academia. You already know that in the academy, what is the role of the women in academy? Just relating to higher education first came under to a spotlight for the first time in 1993. You already know that the first time Kamala Sohin, it was when Kamala Sohin approached Sir C.V. Raman to pursue research in the physics under guidance. So he turned as a request down to ground, and she was a women just. So in our, you already know that article of 15 say that it's a restrictions or discriminations on the base of sex. So here it's a gender discriminations always be happen, but bias against the women out of suspected capability of intelligence was quite common in 20th century. So Indian government just tried to, you already know that a lot of step toward the women empowerment. So this news is related, it's an editorial, and maybe these editorials also, because if you want to write a very good or wonderful, it will better for you that you should read editorials newspaper, which always be support you in examinations, or your writing skills will develop. So thank you very much today. So next class, next videos, we will meet again. Thank you very much. Just subscribe this channel. Thank you.